Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for this week. These are the horoscopes for the week ending 7/2/2016. We're getting into July, and that means that we're getting closer to Metal in the Mountains. That's right. Read my shirt, people. It's only a month away from the end of this week up in beautiful Dunsmuir, California, up in the Shasta Mountains. It's an all-day heavy metal festival, all ages. It's set outside amongst the trees and the mountains and the river right there. It's absolutely amazing. And did I mention that it's all ages? You can bring the kids out to the show. And I'm telling you, I've been there for the last 2 or 3 years in a row. The kids love this show. And of course, the Heavy Metal Psychic is going to be there doing readings all day long. So come and check out the show, come and say hi to me, come and get a reading, and of course stick around for the after party because my AOD boys will be playing a nice long set at the after party after this show. But we're going to go ahead and get right to those horoscopes, and we're going to start as we always do with Aries. Now, I'm very happy to finally be able to say this. That stupid square between Uranus and Pluto is breaking up for a couple of months, and you guys get a break from it. And when we've been talking about this square between Uranus and Pluto, why it's so difficult is there's a couple of reasons why it's so difficult. One, there are 5 different squares that have been set up over the last few years and the next couple of years as they kind of sort of line up and unline up with each other. And when they are squared with each other, and they're 2 planets that move very slowly, it's actually a very heavy aspect for both you Aries and you Capricorns, because of course that's where Pluto is sitting. So you get a break from that. And as this square breaks up towards the end of the week, it really is going to feel like a weight is lifted off of you. But at the same time, Uranus is going to move into square position with Venus. Now don't panic. This is actually a challenge that's not going to last very long. But it is going to make you feel a little bit like maybe those around you aren't necessarily supportive of the career choices that you want to make at this time. And these particular career choices might be really close to your heart. There's something that you really feel pulled to do. But other people, are kind of coming up and saying, that's really not a great idea, or why would anybody want to do that kind of a thing. This week, it's time for you to take the power in terms of your decisions, especially your career decisions. After all, it is your career. You're going to be the one doing the job. You're going to be the one taking care of everything. But not only that, you also might want to take a look at what these people are saying. Now, I'm not saying listen to them and don't do it. But I am saying take a step back and weigh the pros and cons. If it looks like this is the one thing that you've always wanted to do and you feel so strongly pulled to do it that you just need to do it, then for crying out loud, do it. And don't worry about what anybody else has to say about it. The truth is, everybody around you most of the time has your best interest in heart, and a lot of times they're expressing their own fears for you in this particular situation. And you don't want to let their fears be what makes you make this decision, or the fuel behind this decision that you make. You want your intuition, you want your feeling, and you want what you know you need to do to influence this particular situation. So this week, make that decision. Take some time to think about it, of course, but don't let the opinions of everybody else around you stop you from doing what you know your heart is pulling you to do in terms of your career. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, the moon coming into your sign this week is lining up in 1 grand earth trine and 2 grand sextiles with Pluto, Jupiter, the Sun, Venus, and Neptune. We're talking mass energy towards making money and your financial goals. Now, this is a really good thing, of course, but all week long we also have at this time, I should say, while the moon is in your sign, she's in opposition with Mars. And this opposition kind of sort of puts a little bit of damper in all of this excitement and wonderful energy going on around you. Now, this opposition is going to remind you of some of your past mistakes or past failures when it comes to making money or budgeting your money. But the truth of the matter is that these things are coming up not to remind you that you're no good with money. They're coming up to remind you of those little things that didn't work. just so that you know they didn't work in the past and they're not going to work now. And it actually gives you a more of a power to be able to handle this financial situation. But in terms of making money and getting financial issues resolved, the energy is brilliant as the moon comes in, providing way more brilliant energy than it really is providing a challenge. The challenge is really small. This week, it's really up to you. Are you going to focus on that little challenge? Are you going to focus on all of this possibility that's going on around you? Because the truth is, things are lining up for you to be able to make money. And thinking about past failures with making money is really not going to get you very far. So you guys, have a great week with that. Gemini, as Mercury spends his final days in your sign at the beginning of this week, his sextile with Uranus and the moon at some point this week is really going to help you when it comes to creating the relationships that you need in order to achieve your personal goals. Nobody is a one-man island. We need other people sometimes to come together in order to really achieve what it is that we're focused on. And this week, these particular aspects are really lining up to help you find those people, the right people that are going to help make those dreams come true. Now, at the end of the week, the moon is going to come into your sign, and unfortunately, as she moves into mutable grand trine position with Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune, you're going to feel that mutable grand cross chaos again for one day. I swear it's just one day and that's it. Now, of course, it's going to be a little bit scary because you've already been here. You don't really want to be there anymore. And it's going to kind of sort of feel like, oh my God, all the chaos is happening all over again. But you need to steer the course. You need to, of course, continue to focus on what is important, your goals right now. And remember, we've been through this before. Don't get sucked into the drama chaos, because the truth is, it is there specifically trying to suck you in for a reason. You're stronger than that. You're bigger than that. You're more powerful than that. And you can overcome all of that chaos by simply not playing a part in it, no matter what happens. And the moon being part of this aspect is definitely going to make it emotional for you. But you want to take a look at the situation. When something happens to make you frustrated or to make you angry, you got to take a step back for a minute rather than just reacting to what it is that's going on. You never know. It might be a miscommunication. It might be a misunderstanding. It might just be something that's there to test you to see if your focus is where it's supposed to be. Either way, you don't want to let whatever that is drag you down. And once the moon is out of your sign, or at least out of that aspect at the very end of the week, you won't have to worry about it anymore. So this week, it's all about building those relationships that you need in order to achieve your goals, and remembering who you are and what it is that you're doing during this little tiny bit of mutable grand cross energy. So you guys, have a great week with that. Cancer, happy birthday to all the Cancers born this week. The Sun and Venus are still in your sign, and Mercury is going to join them at some point this week. And as the Sun and Venus line up in a beautiful trine with Neptune, and of course Mercury lines up in a grand sextile with Neptune and with Uranus also, big things are in store for you guys when it comes to your career goals. It really is time to shine, not just in your career, but doing what you love and making what you love a career, because that is important. When you love what you do, it's never work. And I mean, I definitely understand that one. There are times, of course, when you love what you do that it can be a little bit frustrating, but hey, you know what? That is life. But overall, if you love what you do, it really never becomes work. Now, of course, Venus is still in that opposition with Pluto, and it is going to kind of sort of make you feel like, you know, you can't make the changes that you need in order to achieve those career goals. And therefore, it may seem like those career goals are still light years away. But the truth is, you don't want to focus your attention on that. You want to focus on what you need to do to keep moving forward. And don't let that opposition, or don't spend too much time, I should say, on worrying about what that opposition is telling you. The truth is, you can do anything if you put your mind to it and you look at the obstacles for what they are. They're challenging you to overcome them. And each challenge that you overcome not only gets you closer to your ultimate goals, but it also comes with a lot of rewards afterwards. So this week, it's time for you guys to shine. It's time for you guys to do what it is that makes you great and make some money off of it. Make it your legacy. Make it what people remember you for. And have a great week with that. Leo, being surrounded by those who love you helps you feel like the royalty that you truly are. And there are plenty of opportunities to feel pampered and loved this week. Now, in terms of self-love and self-pampering, it's definitely, of course, a good thing to do. And I highly recommend that everybody does it. But this week for you Leos, there's a really big reason why you want to do that, of course. You love and you pamper yourself for a reason, and that reason is because you respect yourself just as much as you would anybody else that you would love and pamper. You're also doing it because you understand the importance of this for you. And not only is this a good thing for you and it's going to put you in a great mindset, but you're also showing the people around you the importance of self-love and self-care, as well as setting the bar high so that to make sure that everybody around you is treating you in the way that you feel you should be treated. Respect and love is great, but it has to be true respect and love. Anything less than or anything that falls in under here is really not going to work for you guys. So this week it's time to teach the world that self-love and self-care is important, and then really enjoy that time that you are spending surrounded by those that love you. Because the truth is, when you have self-love and self-care in your life, the quality time that you spend with those around you is going to be better because you'll enjoy it rather than hoping that what you're putting into it is up to par with them. So you guys have a great week with that. Virgo, Jupiter continues his trine with Pluto this week and lines up with Venus and Mars in a grand sextile, which two aspects that are very, very helpful when it comes to overcoming the challenge created by Jupiter's T-square with Saturn and Neptune this week. Now, the challenge is going to make it feel like anything that you're trying to do is just impossible. You don't have the time, you keep getting wrenches in your schedule, and a lot of times there's a lot of overthinking going on within this situation. But the trine and the grand sextile are lining up positive energy for you, reminding you that positive thoughts are good for manifestation, and they're also very, very helpful for you to overcome any kind of difficulties that you are going through right now. If you spend too much time thinking about the challenges, you're wasting time that you could be using moving forward in what it is that you want to do. Also, this grand sextile really puts a big focus on your career and really gives you some fantastic career opportunities that are lining up for you. So again, you don't want to spend too much time overthinking all of the difficulties that are going on, because you really might be missing some of the fantastic opportunities that are coming your way, but you're not seeing them because you're too busy thinking about all of the difficulties. So this week, it's time to focus on the positive, not so much the negative. The negative is going to work itself out. The positive, on the other hand, now that needs your power behind it to make it something that's really, really big. So you guys have a great week with that. Libra, it's officially all about you this week, and that's a great place for Libras to be. Now, when we're talking about it being all about you, we're talking mainly about a celebration of you. And this is a personal celebration of you, of course. I wouldn't call your friends and say, hey, guess what? It's my week to celebrate me, so you all better go over here and start celebrating. Probably not going to work out for you. This is your own personal celebration of yourself. And when you think about it in life, you got all these things that you have to do. You got all these things that are necessary to do. All of these responsibilities that need to be taken care of. What kind of time do you have for doing something that you want to do? And that's the question you want to ask yourself this week. It's very important to make sure to create some time doing something, not because you have to do it, but because you want to do it. And that's always really, really important. So this week, it's time to start your own personal celebration. And what a better way to start that personal celebration than by doing something that you love to do, something that you want to do, and doing it because you want to do it, not because you have to. So you guys have a great week with that. Scorpio, Mars moves back into direct position this week, which means that kind of lag of energy is all of a sudden going to turn into a fire under your rear to get you going. And as he lines up in a grand sextile with Venus and Jupiter this week, there is an immense, very positive energy toward your career goals, specifically career goals that are really meaningful to you. We're not just talking about getting a job here. We're talking about doing a job that has some meaning, doing what you love, and making money doing what you love, which is always really important. Now, of course, Jupiter being a part of this aspect is going to bring up a little bit of, past situations where you've tried to do this before, and it is going to show you some of your failures. But it's showing you these failures for a reason. You're seeing these failures so you know what you did before that didn't work, what not to do this time, and it gives you the power to be able to really move forward in these particular goals. It is not coming up to hold you back and remind you that you're a big giant failure. That's not what's happening here. You want to learn from those past failures so that you don't make those same mistakes again. And that's how that works. So this week, enjoy a whole new energy when it comes to achieving those career goals, and really pay attention to your thoughts this week, because positive thoughts create positive manifestation, create positive energy that's going to fuel you towards those positive career goals. So you guys have a great week with that. Sagittarius, Saturn's T-square with Jupiter and Neptune this week is going to have you feeling a bit crazy in your head, unfortunately. When you spend too much time trying to think about how you want to do things or think things through, overanalyze things, you wind up getting lost in your head. And that kind of feels really frustrating because you don't feel like you're moving forward in anything. You're just spending a lot of time working this muscle up here, which is good. But sometimes, anything done too often, of course, is going to be too much. Now, this week, with Neptune's retrograde position in this T-square and Jupiter's position being in past difficulties and past challenges, it's really time to understand how much your overthinking is blocking your gut instinct or your intuition. When you're blocking your intuition or you're not listening to your intuition, you're not allowing the intuition to flow, and therefore, of course, you're not allowing the intuition to guide you in the direction that you need to go in. When you spend time doing too much overanalyzation, you're trying to control the situation, and the universe kind of has a hard time with that. You, of course, need to be able to think things through, but not to the point where you've thought it through so often that you kind of got yourself lost in terms of where you began. Allow that intuition to come through. Allow your mind to quiet down a little bit. Learn how to shut that brain down from time to time. Do some GBC and really pay attention to the direction that your intuition is pulling you. Because the truth is, the more you follow that intuition, the more successful you're going to be. So you guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, Pluto's trine with Jupiter and sextile with Neptune opens up the time and a creative energy that just wants to flow through you. And it's perfect timing too, because as this squared position with Pluto and Uranus finally takes a break this week, that creative flow is definitely going to be a good outlet for all of that energy. Now, as this squared position does start to break up, it's going to feel like you've had a big heavy bag of sand on your chest this whole time, and all of a sudden somebody lifted it and you can breathe. And you're going to have this tremendous amount of energy that you're going to need to put somewhere, which is where this trine and this sextile come in, creating this creative flow and providing some time and space for you to really focus on where you want that creativity to go in your life. Now, of course, Pluto's opposition with Venus and the Sun towards the end of this week is going to make it really, really difficult to focus in terms of your career or make any changes that you might want to make right now when it comes to your career, which is fine. The truth is, you need a break from all of that creativity in your career. This is creativity specifically for you. It's very personalized to you, and it's a great opportunity to take a break from everything and really just allow that creative flow to flow through you into something that means something to you. It's going to open up that creative flow for your career later on, as well as every other aspect of your life. But it's also an excellent chance just to take a break and take some time for you. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, so much going on with the planets this week, and so many different planets are lining up in very challenging ways, and in some cases very helpful ways, all around you. With no planets in your sign this week, it's more like you're standing on the outside watching all of this take place. Now, of course, when it comes to those that you love, you want to be able to help them. You want to be able to do anything to help them through these challenges. And in some cases, they are receptive to that help, and it's okay to help people out. But this week, at the same time, it's also important to remember a very important lesson, and that is that you don't have a magic wand. Even though it would be really nice to have a magic wand, and I agree with that, you don't have a magic wand. You don't have a magic fix for every problem, for everyone around you that might be hurting. And really, what's really important is it's not your place to use that magic wand to fix everything around, for everybody that you love. I know it's in your heart to want to do that. Trust me, I'm an Aquarian, and I'm always giving out advice that nobody wants because I'm really trying to help everybody around me be able to be the best that they can be. But the truth is, they need to learn on their own how they can be the best that they can be for two reasons. One, they need to do it their way, not your way. And two, people have to fall sometimes in order to really understand and be able to get back up again and do things differently, do things successfully. And sometimes we need to make several mistakes before we can do that. And we Aquarians are not an exception to that rule, let me tell you. So this week, let the people that you love fall a little bit. Be there for them when they need you to be there for them. Not necessarily just because you want to help them. The truth is, it takes some tough lessons for all of us to grow. And we Aquarians know this because we've had some of the toughest. So you guys have a great week with that. And finally, Pisces, Neptune still in retrograde and going to be retrograde for a little while there. It is still in T-squared position, of course, with Jupiter and Saturn. And this is going to create a little bit of a challenge. Specifically for you guys, it's going to create a challenge in your day-to-day schedule where you're going to feel like you're overwhelmed with so many things that you need to do and you just don't have the time to put anything else on that schedule. But at the same time, as Neptune lines up in a sextile with Pluto and a trine with the Sun and Venus, there is a lot of very positive energy towards your career goals, specifically those really important career goals. And we're talking a career that means something to you, not just a job, but doing what you want to do and what you love to do. You want to use this energy and, of course, use your intuition along with it to really benefit those career goals. And when it comes to changes in the home, you may not be able to make changes, but that's okay. The thing is that if you clearly communicate your intentions, everybody around you can be on the same page. You just have to watch how you communicate those intentions to them, of course. You want it clear, you want it concise, you want to make sure everybody's on the same page, and you never know. You might have a whole bunch of people ready to help you out in achieving your goals, or they might just be there to support you, one or the other. So this week, it really is time to get out of that stinking thinking mode, thinking that you don't have the time to do this or that or whatever. Focus your energy on your career goals. Focus your energy on the thing that you really, your heart really desires you to do, and let the rest of the chaos work itself out. You don't need to be at the helm of this chaos boat this week. It's time for you to shine in your career. So you guys have a great week with that. Thank you so much for watching the horoscopes this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Don't forget to go to heavymetalpsychic.com. We got all kinds of awesome stuff going on there, and we're going to continue to be adding awesome stuff on there because, you know, I can't just do one thing. I've got to do it all, baby. Again, I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week. I'll see you guys next week.